a long-dusted book that hides the deepest secrets of the human soul, Jung Psychology and Alchemy. Have you ever wondered why ancient alchemists were obsessed with turning lead into gold, yet never truly succeeded? This seemingly absurd pursuit was actually an eternal projection of the human unconscious. Jung's classic work fuses alchemy with modern psychology, revealing the mystery of the individuation process and offering countless people the key to self-transformation. Today, let us step together into this profound masterpiece and explore how the psyche is reborn as true gold in the furnace of symbols. Chapter 1. Why Jung turned to the hidden world of alchemy. Carl Gustav Jung, as Freud's student, began to develop a deep interest in ancient alchemy during his middle years. This was not a passing whim, but the inevitable result of his long clinical practice. As early as the beginning of the 20th century, Jung noticed strange symbols repeatedly appearing in his patients' dreams, symbols strikingly similar to images he had seen in myths and religions, yet nowhere to be found in modern science. In 1913, Jung underwent a profound inner crisis, deliberately plunging into the depths of the unconscious and recording a vast number of visions. These visions were filled with mandalas, crosses, the four elements, and other ancient patterns, leading him to realize that modern people had lost their connection to the collective unconscious. Freud's theory of sexual instincts was powerful, yet it could not explain these archetypes that transcended the individual. Jung began extensively reading ancient texts, from Gnosticism and Hermeticism to medieval alchemical manuscripts. He discovered that the alchemist's description of the great work, the opus magnum, was not merely a chemical experiment, but a metaphorical account of soul transformation. Alchemists toiled day and night in their laboratories, attempting to purify matter while unconsciously purifying themselves. This perfectly aligned with Jung's concept of the individuation process. The individual achieves the self through integrating opposites. In Psychology and Alchemy, Jung points out that alchemy served as a vessel for the projections of the Western unconscious. With the rise of modern science, people withdrew these projections and turned toward the external world, resulting in inner emptiness. Jung wrote, "The external operations of the alchemists were symbolic of their inner psychological processes." Published in 1944 amid the backdrop of World War II, Jung hoped this book would remind modern people to resume their inner alchemical journey. A Swiss patient repeatedly dreamed of a black stone during treatment. At first, he thought it symbolized depression, but deeper analysis revealed it corresponded to the nigredo stage of alchemy. By painting this stone, the patient gradually felt his inner darkness being accepted, and eventually his dreams shifted to golden light. This convinced Jung that alchemical symbols could activate the healing power of the unconscious. Jung's choice was not an escape from science, but an expansion of psychology's boundaries. He regarded alchemy as a bridge between chemistry and psychology, offering modern people an ancient path back to the self. To understand Jung's turn, we must also review the historical context of alchemy. Alchemy originated in Alexandria, Egypt, blending Greek philosophy, Egyptian mysticism, and Eastern influences. It flourished in the Arab world during the Middle Ages, before spreading to Europe. Alchemists like Paracelsus sought not only material transmutation, but also spiritual elevation. Jung found these texts rich with psychological meaning, yet later generations misunderstood them as mere fraud. Jung's breakthrough lay in treating alchemy not just as historical study, but as a living psychological reality. He collected numerous alchemical manuscripts, such as Aurora Consurgens and Rosarium Philosophorum, extracting symbols and comparing them to patients' dreams. This cross-era dialogue revealed the continuity of the human psyche. An Austrian physicist patient, facing a career crisis, dreamed of being in an ancient laboratory with blazing furnaces, yet unable to produce anything. Waking in anxiety, he learned through analysis with Jung that this reflected the rigidity of his rational life and neglect of the creative power of the unconscious. The patient began studying alchemical texts and surprisingly drew inspiration from them, reigniting his passion for research. Jung emphasized that alchemy attracted him because it compensated for the one-sidedness of Christianity. Alchemists often depicted the coexistence of God and the devil in their texts, believing a divine spark hid within primordial matter. This aligned closely with Jung's views. He believed Christianity's dualism caused inner splitting in Western people, pursuing purity on one hand while repressing instincts on the other, leading to widespread neurosis. Alchemy offered a dialectical approach. Darkness was not the enemy, but a necessary path to light. In clinical work, Jung observed that many patients, due to strict religious upbringing, could not accept their negative emotions. Once they understood through alchemical symbols that these emotions were part of transformation, they gradually released their inner shackles. For example, patients from devout families often blamed themselves for sinful thoughts. When exposed to the alchemical image of devilish matter ultimately turning into gold, they frequently wept, feeling profound acceptance. This led Jung to believe that alchemy was not merely a historical relic, but a living source of the collective unconscious, capable of nourishing the parched modern soul. He even called alchemy the missing link in psychology, filling the realm untouched by scientific rationality and shifting psychology from mere pathology analysis to holistic soul healing. Christianity emphasized goodness and light while repressing the dark side. Alchemy embraced all opposites. This is precisely what modern psychology needs, not denying the shadow, but integrating it. Chapter 2. The Great Work of Alchemy and the Individuation Process. The core of alchemy is the great work, divided into four main stages: nigredo, albedo, citrinitis, and rubedo. These stages correspond to the transformation of matter from lead to gold, while symbolizing the soul's journey from chaos to wholeness. Jung directly likened them to the individuation process, personality integrating from an unconscious state toward self-realization. First is the nigredo stage. This is the initial darkness, decay, and dissolution. The alchemist heats raw material in a vessel, causing it to turn black and foul-smelling. It symbolizes the primordial state of the unconscious, filled with shadow, opposites, and confusion. When modern people enter therapy, they often first confront depression, anxiety, or life crises. This is nigredo. Jung stressed that nigredo is the necessary dissolution of the old personality, just as lead must melt to purify impurities. Skipping this stage leaves one stuck in a false self. Nigredo is often accompanied by death imagery, such as crows, graves, or decapitation, symbolizing the dissolution of the ego. Next is the albedo stage. After washing, the black matter turns white, with images of the moon, silver, or swans appearing. This represents purification and reflection. Unconscious contents begin to emerge, and the individual gains insight. Jung called it the baptism of the soul, where the feminine principles such as the Anima begins to manifest. Albedo brings clarity, but remains incomplete. Third is the citrinitis stage. Less emphasized, it represents the dawn of wisdom. Yellow symbolizes the rising sun, with initial fusion of reason and intuition. Alchemical texts often depict the union of king and queen or golden birds. This stage corresponds to spiritual awakening, where the individual begins to understand the necessity of opposites. Finally, the rubedo stage. The matter turns red, with images of the phoenix, red lion, or gold appearing. This is the most complete stage. Opposites unite, and the self is born. Jung saw rubedo as the pinnacle of individuation. Personality integrates shadow, Anima, or Animus, achieving wholeness. Red symbolizes passion, vitality, and eternity. The entire process is cyclical and non-linear. The alchemical vessel, the vase, symbolizes a sealed psychological space, like a therapy room or meditation. Temperature control corresponds to emotional intensity. Too hot destroys. Too cool produces no change. Jung noted that individuation is not an endpoint, but a lifelong journey. Alchemy teaches patience. Transformation takes months or even years. A middle-aged German man sought help from a Jungian analyst after career burnout. He dreamed of sinking into a swamp, black mud swallowing his body. This corresponded to Nigredo. Through active imagination, he dialogued with the mud in the dream, and gradually saw silver gleaming within it. This albedo led him to re-examine childhood trauma. Then he dreamed of a yellow sunrise, wisdom emerging. Finally, a red rose bloomed in his dream, symbolizing rubedo. He regained vitality and switched to a career in art. Another case was a Dutch woman suffering chronic insomnia, dreaming of being locked in a black tower. In therapy, she painted scenes inside the tower. The walls gradually revealed white light. She realized this was neglected childhood trauma. In citrinitis, she dreamed of golden light atop the tower, understanding her mother's limitations. In rubedo, the tower door opened and a red butterfly flew out. Her sleep improved and relationships became more harmonious. The great work reveals that transformation requires an inner vessel and external guidance. Modern people can simulate the alchemical process through journaling, art, or therapy. These practices essentially create a safe alchemical vessel where unconscious contents can emerge safely without overwhelming consciousness. For example, many keep daily dream journals, recording seemingly chaotic images and gradually discovering stage patterns. Some first experience Nigredo dreams of pursuit or falling, then shift to albedo purification scenes like bathing in moonlight. Though slow, this process brings profound self-understanding. Artistic creation, especially painting or sculpture, directly mimics alchemical operations, starting with deep black base layers, gradually adding white, yellow, and red to complete a work symbolizing the self. This heals the creator and often moves viewers. In professional therapy, the analyst acts as the alchemist, patiently tending the fire alongside the client, not rushing interpretation, but allowing chaos until insight naturally arises. Jung in his later years often recommended patients try pottery or gardening. These embodied activities let the body participate in transformation, sensing the unity of matter and spirit. The key is that these simulations do not seek quick results, but cultivate an alchemical mindset, believing every setback is a gift of Nigredo, every insight the dawn of albedo. Chapter 3: Unity of Opposites and Shadow Integration in Alchemical Symbolism. Alchemy is filled with opposing images: sun and moon, king and queen, red and white, sulfur and mercury. These opposites are not enemies, but complements that must unite. Jung saw this as an unconscious compensation mechanism aimed at wholeness. The core is the coniunctio, the union of opposites. Alchemical illustrations often depict the king and queen embracing or coupling, symbolizing the marriage of consciousness and unconscious. Jung called this the sacred marriage, producing the philosophical child, the self. Before union, death often occurs, such as the king drowning or the queen burning, symbolizing the sacrifice of the old personality. Shadow integration is crucial. The shadow is the repressed part of personality, often projected onto others. The Nigredo stage is precisely facing the shadow. Alchemists called the prima materia chaos, or devil, needing to conquer it, yet ultimately fuse with it. Jung cited many medieval illustrations in the book, such as the black crow pecking at the king's corpse in the rosarium. This symbolizes ego death, allowing the shadow to emerge. The crow represents dark wisdom, not pure evil. Another key symbol is Mercurius. Mercury is both matter and spirit, both poison and cure. It represents the fluidity, trickiness, and transformative power of the unconscious. Jung viewed Mercurius as an archetype embodying the duality of the self. It is often depicted as a two-headed serpent or Hermes, connecting heaven and earth. Sulfur represents the masculine, fixing principle. Salt represents the body and materiality. Their interaction produces transformation. A British female patient always attracted bad men in relationships and blamed them. Through dream analysis, she discovered these men were projections of her own shadow-repressed aggression. In therapy, she imagined dialoguing with a black-clad man, gradually accepting him. Eventually, she dreamed of them merging into a golden figure. This corresponded to conjunctio. Her relationship patterns improved as she learned to express anger rather than repress it. A Swedish man, successful in career, yet inwardly empty, dreamed of fighting a red lion. The lion represented his shadow ambition. Initially terrified, he later painted himself riding the lion, integrating its power. His life became more balanced, no longer work-obsessed. Jung emphasized that unity of opposites does not eliminate one side, but transcends duality. Modern people often favor rationality, neglecting the feminine unconscious, leading to one-sided personality. Alchemy teaches that gold arises from the fusion of lead and gold, male and female, good and evil. Alchemical texts often warn, the separator dies, meaning those who refuse integration remain forever in chaos. This warns today's society. Extremism stems from unintegrated shadow. When social groups project their own darkness onto an enemy, conflict and violence easily arise because unacknowledged shadow erupts in primitive ways. Alchemy's wisdom lies in teaching us to first confront the devil in our inner laboratory rather than expel it outward. Jung observed that the fervor of many collective movements is mass projection of the unconscious. When a leader becomes a gold symbol, followers project their self onto him, leading to blind obedience and destruction. Only when individuals begin shadow integration can society gradually move toward balance. This is why Jung stressed that individuation is not just personal, but humanity's future hope. Through personal work, we indirectly contribute to collective healing and prevent historical tragedies from repeating. Alchemical texts often feature the green lion devouring the sun, symbolizing the shadow swallowing excessive rational light. This reminds us that moderate darkness is necessary, or light becomes blinding and hypocritical. Chapter 4. The Mandala, the perfect circle symbolizing the self. The mandala is the most important symbol Jung discovered in alchemy. In the East, it is a meditation tool. In Western alchemy, circular diagrams appear with gold, flowers, or Christ at the center. During his inner crisis, Jung himself drew numerous mandalas. These circular patterns brought him inner calm, sensing order emerging from chaos. He later had patients draw mandalas as a therapeutic tool. In psychology and alchemy, Jung analyzes several alchemical mandalas, such as the squared circle in related texts. The square represents earth, for elements, materiality. The circle represents heaven, eternity, spirituality. Square within circle or circle within square symbolizes unity of heaven and earth. The quaternary structure of mandalas symbolizes wholeness, up, down, left, right, corresponding to consciousness, unconscious, yin-yang. The four directions often feature guardian animals, lion, bull, gull, human derived from biblical visions. Colors also carry deep meaning, black, white, red, gold, corresponding to the 4 stages. The center point is the self, radiating everything. The boundary protects, preventing energy leakage. Jung noted that mandalas appeared during psychological imbalance as compensation. They foreshadow progress in individuation the self is forming. Children often spontaneously draw mandalas, adults do so in crises. An American elderly man fell into emptiness after retirement, dreaming of being lost in a desert. He began drawing circular patterns. A tree gradually appeared at the center. From black roots to white flowers, yellow fruits, and finally a red bird perching. This series of mandalas accompanied his acceptance of aging, finding inner peace and reconnecting with family. A Canadian woman became depressed after divorce. In therapy, she drew mandalas, initially chaotic lines, later forming circles. A blue gem appeared at the center, symbolizing a reborn Anima. She rediscovered her talent for painting and held an exhibition. Jung collected hundreds of mandalas, considering them the atomic structure of the psyche. Modern people can connect to the collective unconscious and experience wholeness by drawing mandalas. Even a simple circle can bring calm. Mandala therapy is widely used today, such as helping cancer patients reduce anxiety. Jung saw it as a blueprint of the self, guiding the path of integration. In contemporary art therapy, mandalas are widely applied. Many therapists guide groups to draw large mandalas together, letting participants feel the power of collective self. Even in corporate training or school education, simplified mandala exercises help restore centeredness under stress. Jung's daughters carried on this tradition. Their records show many people spontaneously draw mandalas at life's end, as if the unconscious prepares for a complete departure. This suggests mandalas are not just tools, but innate expressions of the human psyche. People find peace in circles regardless of culture. In the digital age, some draw mandalas with software. Though losing tactile feel, it makes this ancient wisdom more accessible. The key is focusing on process, not perfect outcome, just as alchemy does not rush gold, but remains faithful to each stage. Chapter 5: The Projection Mechanism, the Alchemist's Externalization of the Unconscious. The greatest psychological significance of alchemy lies in its being a classic example of unconscious projection. Alchemists believed they could create golden matter, actually projecting their inner self onto lead. Jung called projection the externalization of unconscious contents. Ancient people projected archetypes onto matter and myths. Modern people project onto science, power, money. The alchemical laboratory was a container for projection. The furnace and retorts symbolized inner transformation. The alchemist's greed, patience, and despair were external mirrors of psychological processes. They recorded dreams and visions, mistaking them for material reactions. The philosopher's stone was the greatest projection. It was both matter and Christ, self, savior. Alchemical texts describe it as cheap yet precious, visible yet hidden, one yet all. This is exactly like the self born from humble shadow, yet encompassing everything. Withdrawing projection is key to individuation, recognizing that gold is not external, but internal. Jung said the secret of alchemy's failure was that they did not recognize their projections. A French chemist who switched to psychotherapy later reflected on his youthful obsession with experiments. He realized his pursuit of the perfect compound was a projection of longing for complete personality. Through analysis, he withdrew the projection, accepted human imperfection, and lived more freely. A Spanish artist always sought the eternal work. He dreamed of gold melting and solidifying in an alchemical furnace. In therapy, he understood this as projection onto immortality. After withdrawal, he enjoyed the creative process rather than perfect results. Jung warned that unretrieved projections lead to inflation or collapse. During World War II, many projected shadow onto enemies, causing catastrophe. Alchemy teaches true gold lies in the inner furnace. Today's consumerism is new projection, chasing external wealth to fill inner emptiness. Jungian psychology reminds us that awareness of projection is the starting point of freedom. Once aware, we can gradually retrieve projections, redirecting energy from external objects to inner work. This process often brings a sense of loss, losing a carrier of dreams, but true empowerment follows. Many realize only after relationship failure that they had projected the self onto a partner, expecting perfect salvation. After retrieval, they grow independently and stop repeating patterns. In the workplace, some project success onto position or wealth, gaining it, yet remaining empty shows gold is not there. Alchemy's teaching is gentle yet firm. The true philosopher's stone hides in the basest lead our most avoided flaws. Only by daring to face and transform it does freedom arrive. Chapter 6. Anima and Animus in Alchemical Imagery. Alchemical texts with gender imagery, King Sun, masculine, consciousness, Queen Moon, feminine, unconscious. Their union symbolizes integration of Anima and Animus. The Anima is the feminine image in the male unconscious, appearing as goddess, witch, mother, lover. The Animus is the masculine in the female, appearing as hero, father, sage, spirit. In the albedo stage, the queen bathing or moon goddess often appears. This represents Anima emergence, bringing emotion, tuition, relational ability. In citrinitis, the king awakens, wisdom dawns. In rubedo, the king revives, couples with the queen, producing the divine child. This symbolizes unity of consciousness yang and unconscious yin. The divine child is the self. Jung cited the Maria figure in Aurora Consurgen's mother, lover, prophet embodying the multifaceted and dangerous Anima. Unintegrated Anima makes men prone to moodiness or relational dependency. Unintegrated Animus makes women stubborn or overly rational. An Italian man repeatedly dreamed of a mysterious woman guiding him through a forest. Initially fearful as she appeared and vanished, he later dialogued with her and found she represented his repressed emotional side. After integration, his creativity exploded. He became a writer with deeper relationships. A Norwegian woman, strong in career, yet empty in love, dreamed of a stern knight commanding her. The knight was her Animus, bringing assertiveness. After integration, she balanced reason and softness, finding a partner. Jung emphasized that integrating the contrasexual archetype is central to individuation. Unintegrated, it leads to relational projections repeatedly attracting the same type, like men always meeting femme fatales as Anima projections. Alchemy's chemical wedding teaches that true love arises from inner yin-yang unity, not external seeking. When inner yin-yang achieves harmony, external relationships shift from dependency to complementarity, like king and queen, together nurturing higher creation. This explains why many couples who undergo individuation find deeper bonds in midlife, no longer needing the other to fill voids, but jointly exploring life's mysteries. Jung's late-life partnership with his wife was a living example of this chemical wedding. They witnessed each other's transformation with awe and gratitude. Chapter 7. The Eternal Legacy of Alchemy and Modern Soul Transformation. Jung Psychology and Alchemy is not historical research, but a call to modern people. In an era of material abundance, we have lost the alchemical furnace of the soul. Alchemy's legacy reminds us, transformation requires inner work. Psychotherapy, artistic creation, meditation, yoga, all are modern alchemy. Active imagination directly inherits alchemical recording of visions. In his later years, Jung continued alchemical research, collaborating with physicist Pauli on synchronicity and archetypes. Alchemy's One and All foreshadows holism resonating with quantum physics. Today, many rediscover the alchemical path through Jungian psychology. Facing anxiety and meaninglessness, the painful Nigredo stage is the starting point of rebirth. Mandala drawing, dream journaling, Addo work all are practical tools. A Japanese elder, losing everything after the war, later encountered Jungian therapy. He viewed life as the great work, accepted darkness, integrated shadow, and at age 90 published memoirs, Feeling Inner Gold. An Australian young man, addicted to technology and empty, began reading alchemy and dreamed of a furnace purifying his phone. Upon waking, he reduced screen time, drew mandalas, and reconnected with nature. Jung said, "Individuation is the true secret of alchemy." This book invites us to ignite the inner furnace, turning lead-like lives into golden self. Through this work, we see the ancient alchemist's pursuit is never outdated. It is the eternal flame in every heart, illuminating the path to wholeness. No matter how times change, the soul's great work endures. In today's fast-paced life, we may lack physical laboratories, yet our inner space is vast enough for the entire alchemical process. Phones and social media often become new projection objects, chasing likes and attention to fill meaning voids, but more young people are awakening, turning to introspection like mindfulness or deep reading of Jung. They discover that truly entering Nigredo, allowing anxiety and confusion, distills new life direction. Jungian communities worldwide continue this tradition through workshops and reading groups, reviving ancient wisdom in modern context. In the future, perhaps artificial intelligence can assist in recording dreams and analyzing symbols, but the core remains human courage, daring to light the fire and patiently await transformation. Jung's prophecy is unfolding. The slow yet unstoppable wave of individuation will lead humanity from collective chaos to higher consciousness. May you, in reading, find your own philosopher's stone and begin your alchemical journey.